Thanks for listening to the Swearing In podcast, where you'll hear the origin stories of those who chose to serve. So ground your gear, take a seat, and listen up. The Swearing In podcast starts right now.
Hello and welcome to the Swearing In podcast. I'm your host, Marty Smith. Today, I speak with Air Force retired Major Maj Mondragon. Major Mondragon grew up in San Angelo, Texas, and attended San Angelo Central High School, where she graduated in 1995. She joined the Air Force in August 1995 under an open administration contract. Upon completing basic training, she attended tech school at Kessler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi. Her first assignment was to Reese Air Force Base in Lubbock, Texas. In 1997, she was assigned to a Joint Support Squadron at Stuttgart, Germany. She came back to the States in 2000 when she was assigned to the 55th Space Weather Squadron at Falcon Air Force Base, Colorado. As a senior airman, she left after active duty and joined the Air Force Reserves. Shortly thereafter, she transitioned to the Air Reserve Technician Program as a GS-7 with the 302nd Airlift Wing at Peterson Air Force Base, Colorado. After being promoted to Master Sergeant, she was hired in 2006 as an active guard reservist in the 310th Space Wing with the 19th Space Operations Squadron. She was later selected to the Deserving Airman Commissioning Program and was commissioned in 2010. In 2017, she took a position with the 8th Space Warning Squadron at Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado. In 2020, she was hired into the 42nd Combat Training Squadron and was promoted to Major. Major Mondragon retired in 2024. Now this concludes your pre-brief, so let's get on with the interview. Major Mondragon, thanks for coming on the show, man. Thanks for sharing your story, and I'm looking forward to it. So I know you're a little under the weather, stuffed up.
I am stuffed up.
But we will press on as we military people do.
Yes.
So where did you're lucky that's not going to be seen. See, you're going to make all these faces. I'm going to lose all that, but I'll keep it for blackmail. So, where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in West Texas. Yeah. So San Angelo, Texas, home of the Bobcats.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Angelo State University is there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where Friday Night Lights was? Is that where
kind of. It's kind of on the outskirts, but yeah.
Because all that football out there, right?
You should see the Bobcats High School Stadium. It's
really?
Quite magnificent. I wouldn't say it's mile high big, but
well, I mean, but for a high school stadium, some of those are pretty. I mean, all the big ones you got here, Cherry Creek and a couple of those rich schools. So
Ponderosa.
Ponderosa, I didn't think was that big, but anyway.
Okay. Anyways.
So is that where you went to high school?
I did. I went to Central High School. Yep.
Central High School in San Angelo.
In San Angelo.
When did you graduate?
In 1995. May of
95. Wow.
May of 1995.
Wow. Hey, you're younger than I thought you were. I don't know why I thought you graduated earlier than that.
I'm starting 50.
Well, I'm sniffing 60, so whatever.
Yeah.
In fact, we're 10 years apart. So I graduated in 85.
Ah.
So what was Anna Lara doing her senior year? What was she doing to plan her life out?
Anna Lara had no plan. Absolutely no plan. let's see, I had to beg my principal to allow me to graduate because I had missed so much school. Yeah. I was
Why'd you?
skipping. I was skipping a lot. It was summer.
As you do in San Angelo, I suppose.
Yes. So, yeah, I begged my principal to allow me to graduate. He made me go to every Saturday school from there
Oh,
on out. And I
really?
could never be late. And so, of course,
Well,
I was there every
well,
Saturday. And I
and you,
graduated.
but you graduated on time.
I did.
Um, so really, what were you gonna do? What were you gonna do when you got out? What were you thinking?
I'd like to add that I had a B average too. Like for
When
skipping
you were
that much,
there, right?
yes, for skipping as much school as I did, I had a B average. That was one of my arguments. Anywho,
That's pretty good.
um, what did you say? What did you ask? I'm sorry.
I said, what was your? I mean, you must have been planning something, right?
No,
You gonna work at McDonald's or something?
I don't know, but I wasn't really planning anything. Isn't that terrible? Like I didn't have a plan to go to college. I know I was not mature enough
Yeah,
at
well,
that point
that's good.
to go to college.
It's a mature decision to figure out that you're not mature enough. You know, actually.
Yes. And so I had already taken the ASVAB, but I
Why
had no
did recruit
intention.
did recruiters come by? Did they come to the high school?
They did. They came to the high school and they provided us snacks while we tested.
Why you ASVAB tested?
Yes. And
Wow.
so I went because it got me out of 2 hours of class and I had snacks.
That's a
But
smart recruiter.
yeah, it was crazy because I had no intention of joining the military.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't have my dad was in the Marines, but I mean that was back in the Vietnam days, so
Did he
I
go
mean
over?
he did. Yeah. But I had no intention of joining until my sister had this grandiose idea, her and her husband, and they bought me lunch, and so I went to the recruiter with them.
Wow, you're an easy sell.
Just buy me lunch and snacks.
So, no, wait a minute. They took you out to lunch and secretly took you to the recruiter?
Yes. Yes. Well,
Okay.
my sister was already going to talk to the recruiter.
Oh, okay. So she just
Yeah.
was, you were just going
She
to come
was
along.
yeah, she was going to join.
Yeah.
But I think they invited me to, of course, figure a plan out in life. Because at this point, so I graduated in May. We were in July-ish, July time frame.
Okay.
Because I enlisted in August 1995.
Wow. That moved along rather quickly.
Yes,
Did your sister join?
she did. She was actually my buddy in basic. Like we were in the same
No
flight.
way. Really?
Yeah, but she was married, so her last name was different. We look alike, but we don't look alike, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How much older is she than you?
3 years.
Okay. Was she living, did they make her stay in a barracks for basic?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how the married thing works. I didn't
Oh,
know if they
I'm
actually let
sorry.
them off. So, or
Yep,
let them out for the weekend or something. I don't know.
she was 2 beds away from me. in those in those barracks. What is it called? Open Bay Barracks.
The open bay. That's right.
Hmm.
Um, well, what did the recruiter say to you? Or you were just like, all right, I'll go in with you. Was it, and it didn't matter what the recruiter said?
Exactly. I mean, I didn't pay
Ah,
attention
you
to.
bought me lunch. I guess I'll join.
Yeah. That sounds funny, but no, no, they talked, about, the educational benefits, the,
Well, that's true.
pay, like it's a not common form. It's steady. It's
Oh,
reliable. It'll always be there every
right.
1st and 15th.
Well,
Um,
I can only imagine it was probably pretty competitive pay with West Texas at the time, I suppose.
Yeah. Yes. And honestly, I wanted to leave West Texas. So all of those things like
Yeah.
intrigued me.
Okay. All right.
And
Well,
so my
got nothing else
sister,
going on, right?
I did. I joined open admin
Is that what? Is that what you? Why did you choose that?
because they had a basic training quota and a school lined up like 2 weeks
Oh, so you
from.
just wanted to go?
I just wanted to go.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So open admin, and they chose personnel for me.
Did you
Then
look back and go, "Oh, maybe with my ASVAB score, I could have got something else"?
no.
Oh, you didn't care.
No, ASVAB score was not the best either. Remember, I went to go get snacks and get out of school.
That's right.
Like
That's
this,
right.
isn't that
So
terrible?
who was
Like,
trying on the ASVAB at that point, right?
yeah, yeah, but here's the story. I don't just live my life in this aloof state. Maybe at 18, but what I've learned is that all things happen for a reason,
Mm.
right? Um, Here I am 28 years later, but
Yeah. Yeah.
now looking, you know how people say, remember what you enlisted for, what you joined for. I think that idea changes over the years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
concept. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, especially when if you look at some of the people who joined at 9/11, that was
Yeah,
completely patriotic reasons, right? Yeah,
for
sign me
sure.
up. I want to come in. I don't know how many stayed in. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
stated.
but I
You
mean,
stated.
but I mean, once that reason kind of fades, then you start looking at the military a little bit different, unless you find another kind of purpose for it in the military. So you join for big patriotic stuff, and then it kind of lulls, and they're like, "Hey, go clean the bathroom for the fifth time." You're like, "I don't feel very patriotic anymore, so
Yeah,
maybe I'll get out." But you're right; it does change. You kind of find different purposes, different things to motivate you.
for sure.
You know, different set of snacks to get you to that next rank.
I did like, man, the best food was at the dining facility. It truly was. So I was at Reese
Yeah.
Air Force Base. That was my first duty station.
Wait,
In,
you can't jump to that yet.
oh, sorry.
We got to walk through basic, and then you can tell me about
Rewind.
Reese. Tell me what did you go to MEPS? Did you and your sister go to MEPS together?
We did. We went to MEPS.
Did
Yeah.
they bus you out from there, or did they fly you?
No, no, we drove. So we got a bus, went to MEPS, came back, and then 2 weeks later we were gone.
So when did you swear in?
August 23rd,
Look
1995.
at that. You know that date. That's awesome.
Yes.
In civilian clothes.
In civilian clothes, but I don't have any pictures or any of the
No, no, no. I always felt stupid.
like.
Like I look at the pictures of myself in civilian clothes. And I'm like play acting. It feels like
Oh,
until you
yeah.
get the uniform, and then you're like, oh, all right.
Here I am. Yeah.
What did your sister get the same AFSC?
Nope. She was a medical admin.
All right, but you guys both went in under contract already. You already knew what you're going to do.
Yeah, she had a better general, what is it called, score than I did. I had a terrible general and a really good admin.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Especially as an 18-year-old, when have you ever done admin? So,
I don't know.
but
I could spell.
you're a natural at it.
I was a spelling bee contender.
They're like, here's a fax machine. Which side do you feed the paper in? Do you read it upside down?
Good question.
Okay, so what was did they fly you into San Antonio, or did you?
Yeah,
All right.
we flew into well, not into Lackland, but into the airport. I remember the bus ride from the airport to basic.
Really? Why?
because I remember thinking this was a really bad idea. Like, I was so tired and
Yeah.
hungry that all I wanted to do is stop and get like like some sleep and
Something
something
to
to
eat.
eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just so tired. I was like, but I didn't have any control, right?
Yeah.
At that
Right.
point, so I couldn't just stop.
And then you got stepping off the bus ahead of you, which you didn't know about, but
Yes. Yeah,
that
we had no idea. Everybody's like yelling and we're all walking in circles. It's hilarious.
nobody prepped you before you guys went, before you two went.
Uh, no,
And
not
even if
really.
they had, you're just like, yeah, whatever. I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
like,
I felt really scared. I was like, why are all these people yelling at me? He told me to get on this painted box.
that's right. That's right. Uh, was your
Uh,
sister kind of feeling like maybe this wasn't the best idea too?
no, she was doing it because, well, she was married and my nephew had been born. So she was
She had
doing it.
whole different reasons. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And you're
Me, I
just
just had
you're just
myself.
along for the ride. So how was that first week? How was that first week?
It was terrible. It was so
Really?
hot. Like the bugs and
Oh, that's right. You going right
heat.
there in the heat of autumn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
August.
Oh,
It is
gee.
terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I remember getting homesick too, but I don't remember if it was first week, second week. Um, but I remember calling, well, probably the first week because I called my parents and I was crying. My dad's like giggling in the background. I'm homesick and my dad's giggling.
Well,
You're fine. You're fine.
and he was right, right?
Yeah, I just
It
wanted
didn't
to.
feel like it at the time, but
Well, because everybody's yelling, to include my sister. So my sister is very, what is the word? She follows the rules very precisely.
oh, like a type A kind of person. Is
Yeah,
that what you mean?
yeah.
All right. And so she
So
was mad at you when you wouldn't. Oh, so you got double barrel there.
yeah, she's like, knock it off. You're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna get in trouble because you keep talking. Leave me alone.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
Did you make friends? Did you make any enemies?
I did. I made both.
I mean, as you know, you've always been very outwardly friendly, but you didn't get
Yeah,
to where you are by being a pushover. So,
my sister had a crew and I had a crew.
oh yeah.
And
And you got
her crew didn't care for me much.
oh.
And then my crew was indifferent. Like be okay.
Yeah, go let them do their thing.
Yeah, we just argued. Anywho, um, basic, but oh, and I got I think I got food poison there.
What?
Yeah, so I ended up getting like really, really sick, like vomiting and diarrhea sick. Not a little, a lot.
Oh, really?
And I tried to hide it.
How are you gonna hide that?
I don't know, but I was gonna hide it and get better because I didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And then I
Well,
became
nobody wants
so
to get recycled. That'd be the worst, right?
yeah, yeah. So then my sister told the TI that I was sick. By that point, I was pretty dehydrated, and so I
Yeah.
had to sit in the clinic for like a good day, and then I
Yeah.
was on 2 days of quarters.
They pump you full of IVs and felt better.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
At least they didn't bump you back, so that's good.
yeah.
Where was your tech school?
What is it called? Biloxi,
Oh,
Biloxi,
you went to
Mississippi.
Biloxi. No kidding.
At
Oh,
18.
wow. You could
Yeah,
drink it.
but you
You could
can't.
drink at 18, I think, in Louisiana. Unless they changed it by then. They used to be able to.
I don't know, 1995?
Yeah, they may have changed it by that.
I don't remember drinking there. No, I didn't
Okay.
drink there. Plus, that's underage drinking, Marty.
Well, no, I'm saying Louisiana used to be 18 too, but that I was there in like 90, so
Oh,
they must have changed it.
I don't know.
Anyway, wow, Biloxi. So now you're what? You got to be
18.
No, I know that.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
18.
I was saying you got to be around what, October, somewhere around there. It's got to be
Yeah, it
October.
was like October, November.
So not as hot, but still hot.
Yeah, not terrible. It was
How
fun.
long was your tech school for?
So usually it's 6 to 8 weeks.
Uh-huh.
But so during the time that I went through, I want to say the last 2 to 3 blocks were like self-paced.
Oh,
So the moment I found out that I was going to my first duty station and where it was, I like rushed through those last 3 blocks.
oh yeah.
2 to 3 blocks. Yeah, I was done like 5.5 weeks or something.
And they let you finish?
Yeah.
They didn't just like, oh, well, you're done, but you still don't get to graduate for like 2 weeks. They let you finish,
Ah,
and then they just said, okay, off to your first assignment.
that's what I recall. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's very cool.
It's a long time ago though.
Um,
Yeah.
so okay, now you went to Reese.
Reese Air Force Base, Lubbock, Texas.
Wow,
Yeah.
Lubbock. Oh my God.
Lubbock, Texas, which is 3 hours away from my hometown.
Huh. How did you feel about that?
I was super excited. Remember, I was homesick. I
I
wanted to
know, but
go
I thought
home.
maybe by now you want to go off and see the world, that
No, no.
kind of thing.
I wanted to go home. So once I bought a car, it took me, I don't know, a few months to buy a car or whatever, find a car.
Did you go buy a Slick Willie car? The
No,
15% interest rate or something like that?
no, I bought a grandpa car. It was
Oh,
a Nissan Sentra.
oh, okay. That's not so
Yes.
bad.
It had those seatbelts that go.
Oh,
You
the
know what I'm talking about?
automatic ones? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're not expecting it, you always get hung up in those things when you're not
Yeah.
anticipating it. So,
Exactly.
um, okay, what kind of base was Reese?
It was a closing base. So,
A closing
yeah,
base.
but it was an AATC base.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
all of the new pilots would go there and fly
Huh.
the T-35, 36, 37, I don't know.
Yeah, something. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but yeah, the trainers. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they would fly those there. But it
I
was
see.
closing. It was we lost it in the BRAC.
How long were you there before they closed it down? Because yeah, BRAC. You're right. In the '90s, that was the big BRAC move. By basically like '95 to 2000 almost.
I want to say I was there for like 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay.
Not long. Not too long.
No pilot boyfriends. No.
No.
Oh.
Security forces.
We that weekly show we do. I do it with a retired security forces guy,
Oh yeah.
and we make fun of him all the time. And he cops to it. And he's like, "Yeah, you're right." I said, every bunker downrange, some security forces has done it in there. I even told him about
It's true.
what was the training suite for GPS down in the old training suite down in the basement.
Oh,
Do you remember what I'm talking about, right?
yeah.
And they would tell you not to sit on that couch because security forces go down there and use that couch.
Yep.
And I told Eric all about that, and he's like, "Yeah, that's about right."
Ew. Yeah.
So you guys are good at wrecking cars and getting people pregnant. So
Yes, you are.
where'd you go then from Reese?
I went to Stuttgart, Germany.
Wow.
I know,
Nice.
Stuttgart. I got a special duty assignment. Super excited.
What was your special duty?
So at the time, so the instead of it called a force support squadron or mission support squadron, whatever,
Yeah.
it was called a joint support squadron. The reason why is because we had all these different detachments throughout Europe
Oh, okay.
that we were responsible for.
Oh, you had to go out and so they were geographically separated from you. And you had
Yep.
to go check on them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was super fun.
Did you get a beer stein?
I did. So the building that we would work in,
Yeah.
so cool. So here's the setup. On the first floor, you work. On the
Okay.
third floor, you live. In the basement is a bar that's fully stocked. Yes, and there you could participate in booze.
Sure, it's Germany, right?
Yeah,
So what's this? 97 you get out there?
1997. Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you get a cuckoo clock?
I did get a cuckoo clock, a huge one. I got a big grandfather cuckoo clock
Where
from
is
the
it?
Black
You still
Forest.
have it?
Yeah,
Nice.
I got that in the divorce. I was like, "You're not taking my clock."
That's sucker.
Yeah, it's my clock.
Uh, how did you hear about that special duty assignment?
My first sergeant.
Nice.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was always taking care of me, but I don't remember her name. I remember her face, not her name.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's really cool because I mean the normal airman is not going to hear about something like that,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
going
it
over to
was.
Germany.
Plus, I worked in in the MPF,
Yeah.
so it's helpful to know people. Is my point.
Well, that's true. Everybody's going to come through there. So.
Yeah, and I used to do IDs. Bing bing.
Oh, did you really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just had to go get my new retired cat card or retired ID card that they
Yes,
switched over to.
yeah.
But they didn't tell anybody. I wouldn't have known. I was there trying to get Susan's new, or Susan, not new, new, because she didn't have her old one, dependent ID card, so she could go use vision and all that stuff. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
always ask you, what's your card? And it's like, it's TRICARE. They don't give us a card. And they're like, you got your ID? And she's always like, nope. So we went and got her one, and that's how I heard about it. So
Okay.
otherwise, they did a shitty job of telling you that you needed a new one by 2025. So anyway,
I knew.
yeah, I know you knew because you're still all connected out that way, and you just retired. So
Yeah.
how long did you stay in Germany?
3 years, about 3.5. Yep.
Did you get tired of it before you came back?
What do you mean tired?
Well, sometimes when you go overseas, you just like, I've seen everything, I've done everything. It's time to go someplace else.
So I think I was too immature to understand and fully uh
Appreciate.
appreciate where I was. All I wanted to do was come home.
Okay.
And then, anywho,
Well, you look back and you have a different perspective. Um,
it
but it's
was
got to
so pretty. I
really.
traveled everywhere. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
you did. Oh,
Mhm.
nice, nice.
Mhm.
That's what I wish I had gotten over to in Europe because yeah, I would have gone and seen everything. You know,
I know.
and it's all a day away. Really.
Stuttgart always had this what is it called? A courier flight that flew out of Stuttgart. And so I would hop on that and go to England.
Oh yeah, that's almost like
Mhm.
Space A, right?
Yeah,
Oh man, jeez.
it was fun.
Where did your sister end up?
At Cannon Air Force Base.
Oh, they closed Cannon down too, right?
No, Cannon's still there.
Is it really? Oh, I thought it was a BRAC move. So
No, I think it's still there. Yeah, they fly. Don't they fly the cool Ospreys or something? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyways.
I don't know. So after Germany, now we're talking 2000.
Yeah, I got here in Colorado in 2000.
So what was your assignment back here?
Falcon
And
Air Force
and this
Base.
was when you were active duty, right?
Yeah,
So where did you re-enlist at then?
re-enlist into the reserves.
No. I
Oh.
mean, well, okay. So you got here in 2000. So there's got to be at least the end of your enlistment, right? Or did you
Oh,
re-enlist?
yeah.
Did you re-enlist in Germany to get assigned to Falcon?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do anything special for your re-enlistment?
No. I'm serious. There was nothing like people take these huge hikes up Stanley Canyon and
Yeah.
they re-enlist at the reservoir. No, I didn't do that. I just grabbed an officer, went into a room, said my piece. Because at that point, I was already in about 6 years. And I was, about 6 to 10 years, you start like
Right. That's the
wondering, am I
decision
going to
point.
stay? Am
Yeah.
I going to not? So I left it quiet because I didn't want any questions. People say, well, you're going to stay in, you're going to make it a
Right.
career.
Right.
I didn't want to have
They
those
got
kind
the
of discussions.
big push on you. It's like, well, you're almost halfway, and then once you get to halfway, you might as well
Yeah.
stay in.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't want to hear about that. Oh, I forgot to tell you, in basic,
yeah.
they called me, or that I was full of bubblegum, rainbows, and unicorns. I think
Really?
because I would giggle so much and like not understand what was going on. And I would always just smile, like, so I'm a nervous laugher too. Like
Oh,
when I'm nervous, I
that
start
never
giggling.
helps. Yeah, that never helps.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Anywho, I was full of bubblegum, unicorns, and rainbows.
Wow, that's quite a description. That's a long one for no nickname
Mhm.
out of that. There's just, I mean, I'm sure they refer to you as like, which one is she? Oh, she's that one who laughs all the time.
Yeah, and the ditzy one is always like, what's going on? What are we doing?
But she's got energy for days.
Anywho, yes, Stuttgart, Germany.
So now you're back at Falcon. Who'd you get assigned to at Falcon?
The 55th Space Weather Squadron.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and it was so cool. That was my first like involved, not I wasn't involved, but like how it became interesting to me in regards to space. That was my
Yeah.
first station.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is 2000, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
about there, right?
It was 2000.
What did you think when 9/11 went down?
That was so sad.
Did
It was
they do it? I mean,
heart-wrenching.
did they lock the base down or anything like that? Did you get caught
They
up in any of
did.
that?
They did. At that point, I was already in the reserves and I was stationed on Peterson under the 302nd Airlift Wing. Yeah. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so I was at the 302nd and I remember putting on my uniform and like tying my boots, and my son was in the carrier. And then I drove to work, and at that point, they hadn't closed down anything. But I mean, within a couple of hours,
Yeah.
the base was shut down,
Yeah.
and we had to stay. We had to go pick up our children and bring them to the building because we were locked down.
Oh, they wouldn't let you go home.
Mm-mm.
Oh, how long did they do that for?
I don't remember. It was
Wasn't overnight, but
no, it was like I don't know, 3-4 hours or something like that.
oh, wow.
I think because they were trying to determine who, what, where is the
Yeah,
next.
sure. I mean, nobody
Yeah.
knew what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was out at Vandenberg when it went down. So they're like, no class today, but come to the auditorium. Okay. So I had to walk to the auditorium and then sit and wonder what the hell was going on. So,
Right.
we jumped over a whole lot, obviously, because that was 2001. You got the Falcon when? 2000?
In 2000. Yep.
And so with the Space Weather Squadron. And so how did you go into the reserves?
So at the time, my husband was regular Army,
Yeah.
and and I was Air Force. So I got out at the end of my ETS, so that way I could potentially follow him if he
Oh,
gets
so you did get
accepted.
out. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so why the reserves? Because they gave you the option. You're going to be IRR or reserves anyway, right?
Yeah. I don't remember why I joined the reserves.
Somebody come and talk to you and convince you to come into the reserves?
No.
Did they have snacks?
They have snacks. Maybe.
Hey, what's this room? You got a lot of donuts out here. What's going on?
Oh, I love those powdered donuts. So good. No,
And they'd be like,
I
there's more if you just want to sign this piece of paper right here. And you're like,
I truly do
okay.
not remember why, how did I join the
Really?
reserves? I have no idea.
What rank are you there? A senior airman or were you
Senior airman.
captain? Okay.
I was senior airman.
And so all of a sudden, we don't know why, but you're traditional reservist in the 302nd
Yes.
Airlift.
So I got in trouble because I missed the first reserve weekend. See, that's the thing. I don't remember ever signing anything maybe to join the reserves, and somehow I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
you can get,
Okay.
it's really confusing.
Uh,
But so they called me and they said, you're supposed to be here, whatever, you're considered AWOL. And I was like,
wow.
oh. So the next day, which was Sunday, I went in.
Okay.
And then I found out about the Air Reserve Technician Program.
Way back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you become an art?
I did.
Wow. I didn't realize that. In
Yeah.
2000, huh? Or
Yeah.
2001 or whatever it was.
I was hired as a GS7, and I think my billet was a tech sergeant. I don't remember.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now at least you got a full-time job and you're
Yes.
getting points or getting whatever they call it.
Points.
When did how did the arts work? Tell me how the arts work. Tell your grandkid how the arts work.
So the arts, not to be confused with farts.
That's the
No.
forward air reserve technician.
Okay. So the Air Reserve Technician Program. So it's a government program in the reserves that allow you to earn 2 retirements. So you'll earn a federal retirement with the civil
Military.
service
Oh,
community,
yeah.
and then you gain a reserve retirement from the reserve billet that's attached to the civilian billet.
But the execution of that is basically you're doing the same thing. Whether
Yes.
you're in uniform or in civilian clothes.
Correct.
You're doing the same job.
Yes, for 12 days straight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yes. But at the time that I joined the Air Reserve Technician Program is that we could wear civilian clothes.
Oh, even when you were in status?
No. When you're in status, you have to wear uniform.
Okay. So, but yeah, same job, civilian clothes or uniform.
Yeah.
And you were doing that with the 302nd at Pete.
Yes.
How long did you do the art job for?
For like 5.5 years. I really liked it though. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from, like gaining people into the reserves.
Yeah.
But then I transitioned it into, it was called Personal Readiness Unit at the time.
Oh.
It's where you deploy people,
Oh, okay.
basically. Yeah.
Well, and
Mobilize and deploy. So I was heavily involved in the mobilization or activation of the 302nd and the 310th Space Group at the time.
oh yeah. Oh, so you
Yeah.
did it for both.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, the early days of the 310th, there wasn't. Yeah, we always had to go over the 302nd or
Yep.
something like that, right?
Yep.
That was a big pain in the ass. I remember.
Yes. And we didn't speak AGR.
I know, and it was just this. I felt like there was this undercurrent of like, oh, you're 310th, oh, you're 302nd, and it was like, no, none of the two will mix, you know.
Because the 310th was always so spoiled little babies.
Well, that was the officer corps. Thank you very much.
It
That did that. So
it doesn't say you can't do this. It says you should not.
sounds like that sounds like a lecture you were on the receiving end of. So
Yes.
when did you come over to the 310th? I assume you came over to 310th right from there.
I did. So I got hired as an AGR, an
Oh,
active guard reservist. Gosh. When did I get hired? Maybe 2006. I got hired
okay.
into 19 stops.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. Under General Lincoln and General Kiki Murphy.
Kika Murphy. When did you? So you made master there, or were you a master before you came over?
I was already a master.
Really? What? Well, tell me about that. That's a big promotion. Did you just do it in an office and behind, away from everybody else?
No, that's the only that's one of 3 ceremonies that I actually had.
Okay.
I never had like any promotion ceremonies between E1 and E6. But when I
that's
made
kind of a bummer.
yeah, when I made E7, like I made it a point. I'm having a ceremony. So it was
Oh
really
yeah.
cool.
Where'd you
Yeah.
do it at?
On base.
Oh.
Everybody
Okay.
got Swedish meatballs.
That's always a good promotion or retirement food because you can just
Yes, they're delicious.
you can take a few and then you can go back like 15 times and just keep taking a few.
Yeah.
So good choice. Good choice.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But I think I made E7 a little too early.
Oh.
Yeah, I had some rough lessons learned there when I made E7.
Really? What? Can you talk about them or no?
Yeah. So I didn't document enough
Yeah.
for a subordinate,
Oh,
and then
that come
I
back and bite you.
chose I chose to correctly document her performance on her EPR,
Yeah.
which was substandard,
Yeah.
and she filed an IG complaint,
Oh shit.
and I got in trouble for what is it called? Not resentment. What's it called?
Retribution or something?
Retribution.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Awesome. So I made E7 like in 9.5, 10 years or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was one of the lessons that I was very much taught.
Right. Right.
Document, document, document. But anywho, yeah, I got in trouble.
Well, it's a document that's cover your ass, but that's one of the things they don't teach is they always teach you how to write everything except for like negative stuff.
Yeah.
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 They don't really teach that, and they should. That should be the first lesson. It's like, okay,
Yes.
you're writing a substandard, and this person's going to come after you for what you write. So there's your assignment. That's your assignment, right?
Yeah.
That would better prepare you, I think. Anyway, interesting.
But I still got hired as an AGR, which was awesome.
So now you're a Master Sergeant AGR. Active duty's back on the table here. You don't have to move if you don't want to,
Yep.
essentially, right? That's all what they bill you. It's not really the execution of it, but that's what they tell you.
Yes. And that's where our path our paths cross.
That's right. That's when we started working in 2009, I believe. I got down there, crossing paths, and that was a blast. That couple of years was the funnest, or year and a half. It was really quick. It was really
Yeah, it
quick
was. Yeah.
because you in that time we worked together. That was one of my funnest times. Not just because 19 Stops was great, and
It was at the
it
time.
was
Yeah.
really fun to be in. And every day was it didn't feel like a slog, and it was just a host of personalities down there. You
Yeah.
being one of them, of course. But I look back on that, and it was so fast because it was kind of once I, well, you made, well, let's do it this way. You put in to go, what was the program called? Was it just OCS or?
No, it was the Deserving Airman Commissioning Program.
Oh, that's right. DACP. That's
Yes.
right. Yes.
And then I went to officer training school.
That's right. But did you and Colonel Keika Murphy leaving were pretty close, I think, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't remember which one was first. But that changed things. But it was it was only like a year and a half I was down there. So you go in, be an officer, you get chosen, which is very cool. Congratulations. on
Yeah, it
that.
was very cool. Yeah.
You and Diaz and
Hollister.
Hollister. That was it. Hollister, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys, where did they send you? So tell me about that journey once you.
So
once
they
you got
send
there.
you to Maxwell
Do they commission
Air Force
you
Base.
first before these schools?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
but it's like basic training all over again. For 13
really?
weeks. 13
Yeah.
weeks instead of 6.
Yeah. What do you think of Maxwell?
Oh my gosh. Trying to think of the words to describe it. Have you been to Maxwell?
I have never been to Maxwell. No.
So it's in Montgomery, Alabama,
Yeah.
or a little bit outside of Montgomery. But they're cleaning up the downtown, which is
Oh.
good because at the time during OTS it wasn't as modernized. Everything was
Oh.
still
Yeah.
older. But so there's like a paper mill factory
Oh.
like near it, and it smells like sulfur all the time.
When I was at Fort Polk for 3
Yeah.
years, I lived next to a paper mill. And
Yes, just
some days were
smells.
good and other days were horrendous.
Yeah, and it was hot again. I don't like the heat. I think I went there in June. I think it was in June. I graduated in October.
Wow.
If that's 13 weeks. I can't remember. Anyway, it was hot.
Do they
It was
commission
hot.
you at the end of that?
They do.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, actually their program was really good at the time that I went through.
Yeah.
Like it brought back a lot of like basic training memories,
Oh,
but it
okay.
also like solidified the whole reasons why I was in. So
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
great program.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
The
you
only
got
thing I didn't like is the drill. Me.
oh,
No, nobody really does that anymore. Come on, we don't march.
well, and you've never done it since, really. I mean,
No.
So
No.
yeah.
Mhm.
Who pinned you on?
General Cooker Murphy.
She pinned you on too? I
Yes.
didn't realize that. Oh, I
Yes.
didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
she
why I brought her
pinned
out
you
to
on,
retire
and then
me.
fast forwarding, she retired you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool.
And she hired you as an AGR.
Yes.
Jeez. She getting some kickback from you or something? She
Yes.
really watched out for you. That's great.
Some tamales or something.
There you go. Uh,
So
when
yeah,
you,
I got commissioned, came back to Peterson in 19 SOPs as an officer. That was a weird transition.
yeah, I'm surprised they, well, yeah, I am surprised that they put you in the same unit.
Yeah. I think there's like a rule now you can't do that.
I thought there was a rule back then, but then again, you got to go where the position is,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So,
True.
um, how long did you stay down there with 19 subs?
Oh my goodness. I think till 2000, I don't know. So I commissioned in 2010
Yeah.
and I would say like 2017.
Oh man, I didn't realize you stayed with them that long.
Yeah. Because
Oh,
during the time I got loaned out as an exec
okay. Well, that's
to
not so
work.
bad.
Yeah. And it was a
Wow.
year, but yeah, I was loaned out only a year.
Geez, so you went back to 19 subs, GPS, reserve
Yes.
GPS.
Oh, and
As
I had to relinquish my AGR position because it was a master position. Then I got commissioned.
oh, that's
So
right.
I played the orders game for a year.
Yeah, for training and then seasoning,
Yeah.
and then did you just try to bounce sets of orders, or did you actually go
Yeah.
back to TR?
No, I just bounced a bunch of different orders so that way I never had
Yeah,
a break.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you went second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
I got then I got back in the AGR program.
As a captain,
No, as
or
a
did you get an 04 slot?
I got an 04 slot.
Oh, and that's
Yes.
why you were up at Buckley.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Then I played with Buckley for
It's a whole
um
different animal.
like two yes. Like 2.5 years. I learned a lot about myself there though. I did. I
Whenever
did.
somebody says they learned a lot about themselves, means it was a difficult assignment.
It was.
Really?
Um yeah, I learned that I'm not one to like quickly make decisions. I like to take my time.
Okay. Yeah.
Um Up there you don't have the time to take, so
Who were you with actually when you went to Buckley?
who was I with? You mean like Commander DO stuff?
No, no. Who? What unit did you go to? Did you go to 8 Swiss?
I did go to 8 Swiss. Chief Flores recruited me up there. Good old Raul.
Good old Raul.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if you went to 8 Swiss. 11 Swiss was up there for. I
They're
think they're
still
still
there.
up there, right?
Yeah. Now
But
they're
it's
4
different.
Swiss.
Yeah. Once they
Yeah.
did away with that SMF concept, I don't know what's going on up there. It's very confusing.
Yes.
I thought SMF was a ridiculous concept, but anyway.
Anywho, it's still around.
It is, but it's under a different name now. It's the Spa 4 Gen or something like that,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
essentially SMF. So,
Yes. Yes.
so you can come on a new show and make fun of it with us, like we do.
I will. Maybe. So yeah, I did 8 Swiss. Uh, was interesting. Sorry, my daughter just texted me.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, do you got to go?
No.
Oh, well, we're almost finished, right?
Yeah.
Until you give us your lessons learned brief.
Oh, geez.
That's okay. I know. Should be a very lousy video interview if we were doing video. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, A Swiss is a different animal. It's very, especially, I mean, hell, I left it in '09, but it was still, it's always so weirdly political up there and officers jockeying for position. And
Yes.
you
And
got to,
rigid.
and
Everything's
well, and you got to bounce between the group and the wing, and everybody talks about each other behind their back. And then you
Yeah,
got the
and the two
310th
squadrons.
involved. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a mess. Yeah, it's a mess. So, but you got to. So I know you had your retirement down in the Springs, but did you retire out of that position out of 8 Swiss?
No, I went down. So then I got hired into the 42nd Combat Training Squadron, which is the
Whoa.
old RNSSI, right?
Oh,
So we're,
that's a much cooler name now.
yeah, now it's Combat Training Squadron.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
So how long did you stay with them before you retired?
4 years.
Oh, you did 4 years. Oh,
hmm
Jesus.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
I thought.
made majors right as soon as I joined the 42nd or got assigned to the 42nd. I think I want to say like 2 months, 3 months, something like that.
But then you got to do a couple of years as the rank, right, to make it count or something like that.
Yeah, we were locked down for COVID during that time.
Ugh.
I know. I
Really?
found out that I made rank in May. Yeah, and we were locked down in March, April, May, June, something like that.
Oh,
Anyways,
I'm sorry. You actually have to hit your 10 years from DACP date, right?
correct. That's why I stayed in so
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but before, I mean, were you looking at that 10 years coming? Like, I can't wait for it to get here. Because at that point, you're what, 20? What'd you say, 26 years in the military when you finally retired?
28 and change.
28?
And
Oh.
change.
So,
Yeah.
how was that last year? Were you just like, okay, 11 more months to go, 10 more months to go? Or was it, hey, you still enjoying what you're doing? And
I was still enjoying it and fear. Because here's the reason why I was fearful of retiring is because this is all the military is all I did
yeah,
since I was 18. That was the one thing as a grown up, that's the only
sure.
steady thing that I had ever done.
Well, it's comfortable. Yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, but at least you're getting out as a major and not as a master. So you have
Yes.
some leeway there if you don't want to,
And
if
people
you're
kept wanting me to stay in. They're like, "Let's command together." I would always work with you as a commander, and I was like, "You know what? No.
yeah, yeah.
I I just couldn't do that. No." And you know what's crazy? It's not necessarily the job. It's just the idea that you can't make everybody happy.
Ain't that's truth. Right, right.
Mhm.
And yeah, and when you start realizing it, when that starts gnawing on you, that's when it's just like, ugh, it's time to go. I've had enough,
Yeah.
you know. Hopefully, you never got to a point where you weren't looking forward to go to work, because if that happens, then it's really easy to decide to go.
Yeah. Nope. I never got to that point. It was
Did you ever
a
have thoughts of maybe making lieutenant colonel?
no.
No.
No, here's the reason why. They so at that point I would have to do another level of PME
Oh yeah, you got to go CGSC, right? Or
and
something like that. Some
ACSE.
ACSC. That's right.
Yeah. And I was done with school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was over school. I mean, so I got my master's while I was on shift
Oh,
at
nice.
8 Swiss, which was crazy. Like I don't know why I did that
Why?
because those shifts aren't easy.
Oh,
I
those
was
shifts
thinking,
suck. Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking that it would be like a GPS shift. You
It's
know
not
how
like
you
you
have
can just
flight
sit.
downtime.
Yeah, you do a couple supports and you're like, okay, I got 6 more hours until
Yes.
something else. Now it's always, I think I got 10 minutes. No, I don't have 10 minutes.
No,
Something like
you have a minute. Ah! Yeah. So, anywho, I was done with school, so there was no way that I would ever make
Ah.
lieutenant colonel because I was done with PME. I was like, I don't want to.
What'd you get your master's in?
I got an MBA.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for uh, a girl who had to beg to graduate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah. That's pretty damn good. What and so I know I went to your retirement, but when was your official retirement date?
The official date was 1 March.
Oh
Just
wow.
the other day.
So
Yeah.
you're 10 days away from being retired
Yes.
officially.
And it's been awesome. Like I said, I ended up working a little early, with
Yeah.
in like in January or whatever.
Right, right, right.
But it's been fun.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think of that whole thing? What would you tell your kid if they want to go in?
Hmm. Embrace each moment. Because I did not. I just kind of aloofly like,
That's
"Woo."
good. That's a good point because I rushed through the first half of my career, that first 10 years, just trying because I was always looking at what's
Yeah.
next, what's the next base, how do I get to the next rank and all that shit. And I, that's good advice because if I'd have just slowed down, I was like, just enjoy being where you are.
Yeah.
Go see the state, go see the country, whatever it is.
Yeah, because every assignment, even Lubbock, Texas, there were fun things to do.
Right, right.
Yeah, and it's
But
whether or not you take advantage of it or you don't.
for whatever reason, I wouldn't let myself. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Trying
Yeah.
to be driven or whatever the bullshit is. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. What was your proudest moment of your career?
Proudest moment of my career.
Or I can ask you, what was your worst ass chewing of your career? Sometimes that's more fun.
Oh, I got uh yelled at by Colonel Kavanaugh.
Oh,
No, it wasn't.
really?
No, it wasn't Kavanaugh. Started with an R. Uh,
Um, uh, oh, shit.
it's Italian, isn't it? Big guy. Rattery. Rattery.
Rattery. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for retribution. Like he
Who yelled at you for that?
yelled. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he yelled. Yelled. That was my favorite.
Um,
Oh, my second favorite is in missile warning. Freaking I don't even know who the colonel is. I can't remember, but he like yelled at me. You know how like there's that middle walkway and you're up on the dais
yeah, yeah.
where everybody can see you.
Right, right.
So he yells at me from there.
Oh, he yelled at you from the dais?
No, yelled at I was on the dais. He's
Oh,
walking down the middle and shouting at me.
literally shouting at you. Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
here's the deal. So they have tours all the time on the floor.
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
it was a congressional tour. Got
yeah.
it. Understood. You know, uh, every piece of leadership showed up to make sure everything was legit, like on the up and up.
Yeah, yeah.
But we did not consider which side this congressional tour was, sponsoring.
Okay.
And we had Fox News up. So it's the
Oh
opposite of
no.
who likes Fox News. I don't know, Republican, Democratic.
Yeah,
I don't know.
generally, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they were offended because Fox News was there, and Trump happened to be on the screen, and then I happened to fully broadcast on the secondary screen Fox News with Trump.
God. And he chewed you out for that. That's
Yeah, not once,
ridiculous.
twice, twice. Like I felt a little
Wow.
pee come out of my body because I was so scared and embarrassed.
Yeah, that's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Yeah, I don't
But
remember his name. It was funny though. Now looking back,
yeah. See,
it
now
was
you can
funny.
laugh about that. Right, right, right.
Yeah, and that's when I called Jimmy and I was like, "I'm done with this assignment." I just got yelled at because of the news and embarrassed. I was all
That
crying.
is, I mean, what a far cry. Because when I was on that ops floor, it was nothing but Fox News. But that was '01. I was there when it went ILC. So that's what we were all watching.
Now we
Don't
have,
worry about it.
well, at the time that I left, you had to put NASA.
That's even more boring. My God.
But they don't speak, and they're not on either side of the parties.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, they're just
NASA.
rerunning launch videos. It's just boring as shit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your proudest moment?
Proudest moment. I know you asked that.
You
Dang.
did. I mean, you
There's
can
a
have
lot of
many.
proud moments. I
Good.
guess my proudest moment was looking at my pictures up here. You know, for some reason, Captain, when I made Captain,
Really?
comes to mind. Yeah, that was a really good day.
Yeah.
It was a good memory. So yeah,
Good.
that's my proudest. I never thought that I would be able to, I mean, I joined as an airman basic in 1995,
On a
18
whim.
straight out of, on a whim. And here I am making captain. And
Yeah.
I remember the first officer I ever met was a captain. I was super scared of him.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
sure. When you're E1, yeah.
Yeah. So I was very proud of that.
That's really cool. That's a really great story.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, when you get introduced, you're major retired. I'm not even captain retired. So, no.
I know. You made E8, E9.
E8.
Yeah.
No, Kika Murphy rejected me because I only had one leg, so I didn't make E9.
Oh, shucks.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound like her.
I did interview with her, and then I limped out, and I was like, yeah, maybe I don't get this job.
You should have just beat her with your leg.
I should have just let it fall off in her office. I'm like, I'll get it. Don't worry.
Slowly.
Well, did we get everything? Did we cover
I
everything?
think so. Yeah, that's the highlights of my career.
I like it. Let's see.
We can do it again.
Yeah? You want to do it
If
again?
you don't like it, no.
No. This is all raw, natural. So,
Yeah.
when your grandkid hears about, Grandma Anna, it's like, hey, listen to her military story. She was in the military? Yeah.
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 All of her adult life.
She went in for donuts. She came out as a major. That's pretty damn good.
I was that aloof back then in 1995. It was just like, oh,
Yeah, but it all worked
cool.
out because you have energy and people like to be around you, and you're competent. You don't get to a major if you're just bouncing around. What is it, unicorns and rainbows? You don't
Yeah,
get that.
well, all of that came with great, like, lessons learned along the way.
Oh yeah, of course.
The beatings.
But at least they weren't so bad that you couldn't recover from them. So you took them and you learned and you soared. So
Did. This ain't gonna get me down.
oh Air Force Major retired Anna Mondragon. Thanks for telling me your story. It's been a privilege and an honor to hear about your career.
Thank you. Have a good day.
On behalf of Major Mondragon, I'd like to say thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, please leave a like and a comment and share the podcast with someone else. And as always, make sure to download the next episode for more service origin stories. So until next time, all hands, fall out!